Hello and welcome to the market update for Monday, May 11th. I am Ricky Walters.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.
Today we're going to be talking about jobs, jobs, jobs. And even though jobs usually drives the market on Jobs Week, which was last week, the Iran conflict is really what's driving the mortgage rate market and the financial markets together. So last Wednesday, we got the ADP employment report. The estimates were between 109, between 85 and 120,000. The actual number came in at 109,000. You can see small businesses had the majority of that, and education, health services, and transportation utilities made up the lion's share of those gains. So that's not showing real strength. Those are kind of not affected by a good economy or bad economy. We always have to have those regardless of how the economy is doing. We see that wages went down a little bit. So that's anti-inflationary, which is good news for us. The BLS job report came out 2 days later on Friday. And normally, when you get twice the number that's the market's expecting, instead of 60,000, we got 115,000 created, supposedly, which will be adjusted, I'm confident, next month, as it usually is. We saw, as I said, revisions in February. We lost 64,000 from what was originally reported, so a negative 156. And then March is an outlier, which I expect that to get revised down again next month. Anyway, most of the jobs, just like the ADP report, is in healthcare, transportation, and retail. It's not giving us that many jobs. So it's really weak in the sectors that we need them to be. And the second part of the survey is the household survey, which gives us the unemployment rate. It stayed steady, although it's creeping up, and almost a couple more hundredths in that column would have got us up to 4.4 because it's rounded. But we lost 226,000 jobs when they actually call people and ask them. And the participation rate shrunk because 92,000 people gave up looking for a job. And actually, over the last 4 months, 1.5 million people have given up looking for a job in labor force, which is obviously not very good for our job market together. All right, the oil markets explained. So on Friday, normally that would have caused uh, inflation to spike and bonds to sell off and higher interest rates. But actually, rates improved on Friday because of the hope of a deal with Iran that, as we know, over the weekend didn't materialize. So I want to talk about how oil markets are affecting us here in California. We just received the last oil tanker from the Middle East. We import a third of all of our oil from the Middle East. And so the obvious question is, well, why not Texas where we get where so much oil is produced? Well, there's refining limitations, as well as we have to have a pipeline that goes through the Rocky Mountains. Would be prohibitively expensive and time consuming and difficult to get a pipeline from Texas to California. So the question is, what about Venezuela and what's going to keep happening if we don't start getting oil from some other place? That's why California is the highest state in the country for the cost of fuel, which is a bummer, but that's the way it is. So things are good out in the house buying market. Rates are 6.25, 6 3/8. So although they've bumped up since the start of the war, they're still not that high compared to where they were. So tell your buyers, get out there. They can negotiate. It's a great time to buy. This is Ricky Walters, your mortgage wise guy.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.
And I'll see you next time.